And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Dungeons and Derailments stream. Episode 7 this time. Already 7
And we are
episodes
live.
into
Welcome,
this.
everybody,
Oh,
to
and it's
the
echoing
Dungeons
through.
and
I've got to stop that from
Derailments stream.
happening every time it
Episode
starts.
7 this
Let's turn off the monitor. Then we're good to actually begin the stream. This is becoming a tradition where I start talking and it echoes through. Just a thing for some reason. Hope everybody's had a good weekend. Weekend's about ready to come to a close, so to conclude it, let's play some D&D and prolong it as long as possible before Monday sets in and we all have to go back to work. Anyway, to pick up where we left off, we last session had a couple of two new party members join, and to recap last week's D&D session, we will be having our recap from the perspective of Brynhilda. Emily, take it away.
All right. Most divine Umastroth, beacon in a sea of ignorance and shepherd to the holy path of enlightenment, please hear the call of your most faithful servant, me, Hilda. You would not believe the week I've had. Oh my god. It started off normal, but then we went to the tavern and all these humans started being really interested in that like hot rock bearing I found. No idea why. Next thing I know, one's beating up an old woman and like one melted a guy. Whatever. We ended up kidnapping a guy and fleeing Gullsworth, but it turns out it was all misunderstanding, so it's all okay. Apparently, there's a magic test, and a magic man sent him to find the orb. I don't really know the details. It's fine. We let him go after he told us that. Anyway, now we're gonna go traveling together. I think we're going to the capital. Please bless my sacred path and this day. Amen and stuff. Thanks.
Awesome.
That was amazing.
Really good.
Quickest recap so far.
What are you guys talking about? I was just doing my morning prayers.
And as you've set out, leaving away from the town of Gullswerve to the south, this road is fairly well traveled, as a lot of traffic goes from the coast to the capital. This is one of the only ports on the west coast where not so much intercontinental travel, as other continents are not really known to the world, but boats do go along the coast, and some trade happens along the waterways, and it's not a terribly long trip from Gullswerve to the capital. 4 or 5 days travel. So you walk along, starting to get to know your new traveling companions more, having conversation, the breeze blowing over the fields and the crops. After about half a day's travel, there aren't really any farms now around. You're getting far enough from the city that it's more just untamed countryside, forest, hills. Hear birds in the distance. It's pleasant. Is there anything you want to be doing or talking about while you're traveling on, we'll say, nearing the end of the first full day of travel?
Right, Theodore, let me get this straight. You're telling me that you did not get your magic from something that just gave it to you, like being a ghost or something. You quote unquote just learned it.
That's pretty much how magic works. You are so weird. Why? What would give me magic? What would just say, here, Theodore, you're a swell lad, here's some magic. What would do that?
Well, I mean, I think ghosts have magic, so like it could be. I mean, like, how can you just like learn magic? Like, it's not like something like.
You read. I
Keep
know,
on
strange.
digging that grave, don't you?
Yeah.
It's really odd.
We've also established many times over that I'm not a ghost.
I mean, the jury's still out on that one.
I
But-
slap him.
Oh.
Ghosts can't do that.
Well, I don't know much about ghosts, so I don't know if you're just fooling with me. You know, fine, you're not a ghost, but it still doesn't make much sense that you just read a book and then like, oh, I can do magic now. Like,
Well, you
what-
know, maybe if you tried reading a book, you would make some progress towards that. Just one.
sure you could ask the dwarves. They're all about like knowledge and whatever, right? They can probably tell you more about books. Dwarves, tell them. Sorry, dwarves. That might be offensive. I don't care. Tell them about books. How
Well,
do
I
those
only
work?
keep my prayer books. So I have a
Right.
lot that have information on like, the history of Innistrad, the history of like, the universities and how they function. If you want to talk about that, these are the really fascinating readings actually. We can start a book club if you want. I'll give you one. I'll give you some reading. Here, you'd love it.
I can't wait to hear you read that aloud.
Which
We'll
you
let the
start-
chapters
I'll
go
see it
how about
before
that?
You start looking through it, and there's no pictures. It's just wall of text.
A lot of notes.
Thank you. I will read this at night.
Read the first page, Adri. He's just staring at you
Like right now?
right now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I really, as much as I love this
Out
energy, this
loud.
hostile energy, you can focus on that and learn the good word. I just had a question for you that are apparently good with magic things, as you've determined that the hot rock apparently has magic surrounding it. Is there a possibility that someone's like knows where we are, where we're going, because we're like holding on to it?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Especially
Okay.
now that it's been in other people's. It's something that they are aware of fully, that we have it. They know it's out and about. I don't feel like that guy's going to tell his teacher immediately, but probably eventually.
Should we
And that's
not?
also why I said to stop giving those rocks out.
Well, there's some things that are more important than my personal safety.
should we switch to pamphlets? Would that be better?
That would probably actually help.
I spent years
What?
learning masonry. I'm not a calligraphist. I don't know how to do that. That's a whole other. It's been 40 years I've been learning this. I can't easily switch, but maybe we'll think about it. But in addition to that, should we like not carry around this stone, or like put the hot rock, or put it in like a bag?
We don't really have much of a choice at this point. We don't have any way of
Right.
stowing it.
I mean, are
All
you
right.
not holding it in a bag?
I don't know.
Have you just been holding it in your hand this entire time?
I mean, I've been playing hot potato with it, but it's just because it's kind of chilly
Oh,
outside.
please don't do that anymore.
Well,
So you have these conversations, getting to kind of know each other and figure out, magic and hot rocks and all this stuff that you've kind of been recapping. Nothing of great interest happens over the first day and a half of travel. You sleep for the night, kind of set up camp like you usually do. Omar climbs a tree and sits up in a branch somewhere. The rest of you set up camp like normal people. The
Listen, I'm literally above all of you, okay?
I mean, yeah, you're way
Only
up there.
physically.
I don't.
Yes, literally. Like
Yeah.
a big cat sitting in a tree.
Do you have the grace of a feline?
At about the halfway point between Goldswerve and the capital, getting near the end of your second full day of travel, you see the first, interesting sight. Situated on a crossroads, the main road heading south from Goldswerve, a smaller trail kind of cuts off to the north. And situated in the corner is a large, weathered, two-story building that looks like a big rectangle there on the land. It has chipped white paint, 2 stories, windows kind of line the top of it. And painted across the front of the building, kind of scrawled out in chipped blue paint, are the words, Breardal Roadhouse. This looks to be kind of a stop-off point for travelers making the journey between the two cities. There's a kind of a stable off to the side. You can hear the sound of horses. Carts are tied up and kept out front. You hear the sound of conversation and of instrument being strummed inside. It's nearing the end of the second day of travel. The sun will be setting soon. it's the opportunity, if you so wish, to spend a night in an actual building, aside from being outside. What's more, the clouds that have been rolling in have begun raining.
Well,
Just
this
holding
is
his cloak over his head.
awfully convenient. I mean,
It's perfect. Convenience.
You think we'll
Be
have a
damned.
free?
I mean, if you guys all just wanted to like jump in my tent, we could also.
no.
Yeah,
No.
no. I mean, it's
no,
probably
no,
better that we.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Acid hands. No.
Well, I.
Let us stay here for the night and see if maybe we can hitch a ride on someone's way out.
It'd
I'm
also
not
be
sure.
nice to have food that's not this dried. Just holds up a bag of rations. Just
Suck it in the rain, you'll be fine.
I mean, we still have a little bit of the deer. If you want some of that.
You mean the
Nope.
dried jerky?
Nope.
Is that what you're
I've
referring
been
to?
watching you eat it and lick your fingers and stick your hand back in there. I'm not touching that.
What's wrong with?
Right.
Please.
Anyway, I'm gonna go in.
Right. Yeah.
I'm barging in.
You open the door, and the room in front of you is very large, and there's long tables with kind of wooden benches built into them. It seems that getting a private table would be very difficult, though with 6 of you, you might be able to manage something. But people kind of line up, and food is brought out and kind of dished out from there. Kind of a bar covers one side of the room with a staircase that goes to an upstairs, and behind it is a kind of grizzled old looking human, long kind of scraggly beard that seems to be maintaining the place. But the room itself is filled with lots of travelers. Some are well dressed. They look like merchants that may be on a business trip between cities. Others are more kind of commoner attire. Some look like they haven't bathed in quite some time as they're traveling up these dusty roads. In the far end of the place, a musician kind of strums on the instrument, providing some light atmosphere.
Well, let's find a spot to sit. Is just somewhere like close to people. It's fine. Where we can all get a spot. Are we like room sharing? Do we want to save on cost, or is this like you guys aren't comfortable with that yet?
I don't even know how many people fit in a room here, and how many rooms they have. The building didn't look that big.
Building's pretty big. Like it's a large
Oh, like
building.
It's a massive.
Not,
Okay.
Well, not massive, but like this. If you look at it, probably 3 barns worth of building. Tell I'm
Okay.
from the
It's
I'm
like
from the
like
Midwest.
two-story,
I'm from
yeah.
the Midwest. It's 3 barns worth.
3 barns. I'm in the Midwest, and I can't even picture 3 barns.
What are barns again?
What's a barn?
Does the
Okay.
outside look like?
Okay, so I don't know if they have enough rooms, maybe, for
We
us.
should ask then. I'm gonna ask.
I would, before you go, I would like to note that we might want to stay in the same room because of your hot rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Is
nice
he-
to have so many dedicated bodyguards, I will say.
It
So-
is nice.
So Hilda's going to go and inquire about accommodations.
Yeah.
As you kind of walk up to the area with the person working there, he probably in his late 60s ish, but kind of a bit heavy set. His face just kind of shines from just grease, and he's pretty rough looking and kind of smells a bit as well.
Amostroth, bless you. I
Yeah.
would like to inquire about a room, please.
Bed or no bed?
Multiple beds, preferably. Yeah, like at least 6.
A
Do
bed.
you like one of the big bedrooms?
My bed's a silver night, or if you got your own pallet and bedroll in, you can get by on 3 copper.
Oh, I do like that. I like the savings. I think we can do that. Comfort's not that important. They don't look like they need comfort. Yeah, we'll do that. Just like something that fits a lot of bodies.
All right. How many of
6.
you are there?
6
6?
of us. Yeah.
6 with no beds. 1,
Yeah.
2.
I'm
That's
sure they have cots. We'll
That-
figure it out after.
that's 18 copper.
Well, I guess I'm here, and I'll give him that. Maybe next time I won't go up alone. Okay.
Y'all wanting meals for the night?
I'll just yell across. Do we want meals?
Yeah.
Yes.
They do.
All right.
Put it on their tab. Do you guys do tabs?
As long as you pay before you leave.
We'll do that.
We'll get your dinner served in the next 30 minutes or so. Make yourself
thank
comfortable.
You so much. Oh, I will. I'll just like put a stone. Amstrad, bless you.
Yeah, you forgot something.
Oh. It's okay. I'll take it. It's fine. And like hobble back.
He kind of goes back to work.
I hope you guys have bedrolls because I kind of got a bedless room, but
Oh,
Oh.
that somewhat defeats the purpose, but alright, that's fine.
I guess it'll be like we're camping outside, inside.
well, it was raining outside, so it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, I could have
Fine.
again. I could have just used my
Stands from
tent at
the
that point.
woman who
Honestly,
sells
I
them
mean,
off.
how much was it?
It was like 8 copper, something like that. Yeah.
If you
like-
let me
Eight copper?
reimburse you.
Okay. Well, I mean, thanks for paying, I guess.
In the,
I
mean-
mean,
in the meantime, you've able to kind of find a table where you all can sit at least together. A couple spaces over from you is a kind of two farmers that a little bit on the loud side, like, yeah, oh, Daryl, yeah, that turnip out of I never did see a turnip as round as that one. It looked on a little stalk on top, wasn't too much, but once he started to pull it, and he had to pull to get that thing out of there, that was, well, looked like a pumpkin.
Adri is very much listening to their conversation with wide eyes and excitement.
Yeah, old Daryl, he said he never did see anything like it. The greens weren't worth nothing to steam, but the root itself, that was a really something. We're gonna try to get some different starts on it and chop. Can I help you?
I'll just, you were talking about a big root, and I was interested, and I like big roots, because I like to farm big roots, because I like getting good farm. Hi, I'm Adri.
Oh, hi, Adri. Nice to be making your acquaintance. I'm actually Daryl's cousin. I'm not Daryl. Daryl's from up at the town, but yeah, you do some farming too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of left it a bit. I'm kind of new around these parts.
Oh,
just
well,
came
welcome
from,
into town. Nice
hey,
to
thank
see you. It's a nice establishment here. We come out here when we want to go uptown for a bit. The town itself's about 2 miles away, but this is like, a little mini vacation, if you will.
When you say town, what town exactly?
What town?
'Cause I'm traveling right now, so.
Oh, the town of Brittle.
Brittle.
Brittle, yeah. It's about 2 miles up toward the forest.
It's just a farming town.
Yeah,
Standard, yeah.
Probably, it's probably 25 houses or so, families,
That's
farmland.
nice. Sounds good.
Well, it's pretty rough out there for quite a while, but lately we've had crops that you ain't never seen.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they're just so best produce you ever did see. It's large. It's the taste is phenomenal. We were in a drought for 3 years, not much rain. And all of a sudden he walks into town and the rains come.
Oh, does it not normally rain like this?
Not normally, hadn't for years, but we're all happy about it. And about now, the food is being brought out from the back, and there are some meats prepared, but what stands out to you is the produce that's part of this plate. There's potatoes and onions and tomatoes, but all of it looks exquisite. And as you start kind of digging into the food, there's something special about it. This is phenomenal.
This is fine. Eating at a place I was not expecting to find.
Yeah. Well, enjoy it. Yeah. Y'all need anything else? The barkeep.
I think we're all right.
All right. Well,
anyway.
suit yourself. That'll be. That's a copper apiece for the dinner, so be sure to pay before you leave.
I'll just give them a copy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, can we
Yeah,
just
I'll
do
show
it
him
now?
a copper.
Yeah.
He just has a bunch of coppers thrown at him.
He's gonna pull the
It
paper,
can't be more than 6.
pulls the paper out, and kind of marks off. All right, y'all are
Can I
paid
get
up.
ale too?
Sorry,
Can I get some ale too?
I can't hardly hear you, Ignil.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Can I get some ale too?
Some ale. Yeah, we got some ale. 2 more copper on your tab.
Sure, I'll throw him 2 more copper.
He brings you back a large mug.
Nice.
So, Adri,
Hmm?
were you talking to those people about vegetables?
I mean, did you hear about it though? There's like, they were
Not,
huge.
I'm right here. I heard. You don't have to repeat the story. I promise you. I'm astute. So what did he say? I picked up bits and pieces. He said something about it wasn't raining, and then they said someone walked into town and it started raining.
I mean, it's just probably like just him. I guess I don't. I
How are
wasn't-
you so
I was
interested
Everybody-
in
talking
me?
Everybody,
about
go ahead and make a
these-
perception check for me.
Ooh, fun.
Ooh,
So good at those.
perception is -1,
That
so
is
17.
not bad.
2.
16.
14.
Anyone who rolled a 15 or higher, notice amongst all the crowd and the commotion, this place is kind of a hopping, happening place. The musician seems to his words tend to tell stories of events and an aspiring bard. One of them kind of stands out to you in the whole vegetable business. As he strums on his instrument, the melody plays forth. Through the blight and the drought they pressed ever forth, stopping our village demise. The god walks amongst us to bring forth our food. No more we listen to lies. The crown and the king powerless, for we heed Demiatos' call. Those doubting and stubborn see the wrath of our god. Quickly and surely they fall. And it keeps going on and tells the deeds of this Demiastus, and goes to tell this tale of these great deeds.
Yeah. So I don't know if you were listening to that song,
So,
Adri, but yes,
Yeah.
I knew you weren't. So those people, I'm just gonna connect some dots for you. You see if you can keep up, buddy. Those people were talking about somebody that came into their village, the drought left, and that he was their savior. That
I mean, that just sounds great.
songy fellow was singing, I guess, more accurately, about some guy named Demiastus that helped save their village from drought. That's when rain's not coming, and now rain is
I
coming.
know
He
what a
stopped it.
drought is. Yeah.
So
I
I'm just,
understand.
covering all bases here. And now they're saying they don't follow the crowd. It sounds a little weird, and that the wrath of their god will come down upon those
Those who
that
don't believe him.
believe. It's a little intense. Does your god work that way? Just looking at
culty.
Hilda.
Not particularly. It's usually not that intense and against laws. Or against the crown rather. I mean, are we sure it's just not like, I don't know, fairy tale or something? Just like a little like jaunty
I mean, have you
melody?
seen? Did
I
you
was-
eat the same food? Like, I mean, this stuff is
Oh
great.
man,
I
I'm
would
gonna
not
take a
agree
leap
with
here and
you.
put this in your hands. Oh,
What?
he's just holding his chest, like having almost anxiety is evident on his face. Adri, you're of the people. Would you mind talking to those people you were talking to before and trying to get some specifics since you were already conversing?
Well, specifics on what exactly?
Who it is that saved them and what exactly is going on in Brittle, I think it was called.
All right.
He's just gonna turn to Omar. This is the dumbest idea I've ever had.
Hi friends again.
And now Daryl, he was chomping on that turnip. Yeah.
I was just, I was so interested in your stories. They were
Oh,
great.
good
I
old
was
Daryl.
looking back. Yeah. I'm just curious, right? Look, you said someone came in and it was great. And I'm hearing these god stuff. Like, who's your god? What? Like, how great is this? Like, where is this?
Well,
coming
you
from?
ate the food. It's real good. It
Yeah,
just
it's
all kind of
amazing.
started back in the spring. This is the best year for crops we ever did see. Yeah, you wouldn't believe the rutabagas.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is from someone, right? This like came from.
Well, yeah, he came strolling into town, kind of almost floating as the god he is. But once he got in there, and we nobody believed him at first, but once he started bringing the rains and the crops, well,
he's like in the flesh. He's here.
yeah, he came to us.
That's insane.
That's what we thought.
That's. I mean, do people meet him? Can people meet him? Can I meet him?
Well, I suppose you can. He does services at the church. It's something you show up, and it's not just a guy speaking for God. You're speaking to God himself.
That sounds amazing. I would. Honestly, this is just great. I've not seen any negatives to this so far.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
I guess we're going to town then. I mean, this is, and just we just keep getting more and more food, right? It's like it's not like it's.
I mean, it's a win-win. Now there was some people, they weren't on board right off the bat. You know, they said, who is this God? We don't follow that God. We follow we follow the other one that we've practically forgot about at this point. No, we follow Chan-Chi, but Chan-Chi never brought about the rains.
I mean, clearly not. I mean, could someone not just like follow two gods, like just like?
I suppose. I mean, some like doing that. Like if they're growing crops, they say Chan-Chi. If they're feeling down on their luck, they might follow Tamor. But the new one, he said no. That they're all useless. They're useless. They don't bring you any benefits. He brings us benefits.
I mean, you don't need to follow any other gods if he has all it for you. Right?
That's what we tried to tell old Hom. Old Hom, he was out. He's been trying to get his fields to grow for years now, and he wouldn't do it. He won't acknowledge them. He won't say that. And he pays for it. His fields ain't growing.
Huh.
He ain't had a nary a raindrop on his field all year. Everybody else's, but not
is
all.
the god
not old
stopping
Holmes.
the rain from going there?
Yeah,
or
because
is he
old
just
Hom
like-
ain't following him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's for his fault, really.
Yeah,
'Cause if he's
that's
not
what we're
following,
telling him. He's the laughing stock of the town. He's the only one that won't accept our beautiful new future in farming. Farming crops that taste
mean,
good.
There's nothing really else to it then, right? It's just
Right.
He's just makes it better.
That's what I say.
All right, I'm gonna go back to my other friends now. It was really nice meeting you.
Oh,
I
nice
loved the
meeting you. I never did
conversations.
catch your name, by the way.
Oh, I'm Adri. I'm Adri.
Adri. I
Yeah.
knew an Adri once. It was related to my brother and brother-in-law's sister's half sister. He went by Adri, but he wouldn't know him, I don't think.
I don't necessarily. I don't think I've met another Adri before, but
Oh,
I'll keep my eyes out. I mean, I'll tell them I met you. I'm sorry, I actually didn't catch your name either.
Gridef.
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 Oh right, nice to meet you, Gridef.
Oh, nice meeting you.
Yeah. Walks away. Go back to the group.
Slide back over. Yeah, and Daryl, where was I talking? I forgot what I was talking. Their conversation
so-
goes back to wherever it was.
So here's what I found out, right? Is that the god's really not doing anything bad. If it is a god. I mean, I think it's a god. With the power it has, it probably is a god. But anyway, so there's a god
And
in
you-
person.
and
that
you're-
came.
I mean, you're at the same table, just a couple slots down. They could probably hear it, but you can
Just real
continue.
quick,
Yeah.
we could hear, you know. We're right
Oh.
here.
Right, yeah, I thought you were paying attention to each
Entire
other or whatever.
conversation.
Nope, that
Yeah,
actually
I mean-
went.
It was
uh,
dead silent over here.
Well, normally when someone else has a conversation, I'm like thinking about something because I don't want to talk. I want to be in part of their conversation. It's not my right. I'm not part of the conversation, so I'll do something else. So I thought that I would have the conversation with you, so that you knew what I just had a conversation with. But you would listen to my conversation. That's kind of rude. But I mean, that's fine. I'm not mad.
It was a good instinct that you had to convey the information. I think it's kind of weird that this god doesn't want like people speaking on his or hers behalf. That's very unlike most decent deities, so that's strange to me.
Well, I don't necessarily think that there's a problem with people talking on the behalf. It's just
Can we go
following
to
a
our
different
room,
god.
Maybe? Could
So-
we perhaps
That would be
just leave
smart.
Yes.
this general area?
I think
Maybe?
you're.
This cannot be the
alright.
second tavern in a row that we make a scene in.
That we get assaulted, yes. I would very much not like to be known for that.
It was raining when we like walked in, right?
Yeah,
was
it
really
had just
yeah.
started, and you hear a rumble of thunder now that rains have kind of moved in and set in.
You know, it's actually kind of nice hearing the thunder in the back, just like a little rumble like that. It's like it gives mood to it, right? It's not like it actually is threatening or anything,
That's
because it's
the
far
topic
away.
of our
but-
discussion.
Sorry, sorry.
I'm worried about an anarchist cult of farmers, and you're talking about thundering rain. So I think we might be on different levels here
mean-
in the conversation.
At least he did what
they're
we
not
asked him
doing
to do.
anything bad. They're just making crops. There's nothing wrong.
I
don't
will-
think-
I mean-
okay, maybe there is a little bit something wrong, but I mean it's fine.
Regardless of your assessment of the situation, I will compliment you in that you were able to gather, whether it was your intention or not, the information that we had hoped you would.
Well, thank
At
you.
the very least, it has to be tax evasion, right? 'Cause they say
Well-
they don't follow the. I mean, there's something that's not legal happening here.
I mean,
even if it's not legal or is legal, it's a little weird that they have a god there punishing them and rewarding them directly. I don't know a lot about the deities. I mean, I've read about them. Not really interesting. No offense. It's not for everyone.
Just a little offensive.
I mean, it's just not for everyone.
Strong
But
opinion, but okay.
yeah. At the same time, I mean, I acknowledge that, you know, they can do things. I just have never seen one. I would like to, if we could.
I mean, from what I understand, like this god is nothing really. I mean, he seems to do all the things that other gods do. Like, have you ever heard of like those like old sayings about like the man who like defied what was his name? What's your god again?
Mine? Umastroth. I
Yeah.
keep talking. I'm so surprised you haven't memorized it yet.
I don't pay
I-
attention much. I
I'm
was
obviously not
thinking that
talking
might
about
be
him
the god's
enough.
name, but,
bring him up more often. Don't worry, I'm obviously not doing my job. But, continue. Sorry.
Well, anyway, the point was that there's all those like things like if you lie to the other kids, then you might get punished by the great gods, and they might like they'll make you have like an odd nose shape for the rest of your life, or like things like that. You know, like just like.
Are you
Like, or
equating
maybe.
religious texts and children's stories?
Well, no, it was like that. What do you mean? Well, like okay, like if maybe like okay, this one you definitely know this one. It's like it's the ones that happens like there was the man who would always make fun of people, so he like made all these weird faces, and then it got stuck like that, and he could never change it. It was always the weird face.
It
What
yeah.
god did that?
No, it kind of relates because there's some scripture that says that Umastroth will like if you don't try to be smart and if you don't try to learn it, it will rot away your brain. So it's kind of like that.
Oh,
Staring
at
Adri.
See,
so
exactly.
sorry.
Exactly.
I think it started with your hand. It all makes sense now.
Wait, what?
Okay, so if we want to figure out why someone might not like him, why don't we talk to Hugh? How? That one guy that's always the one that always has dry crops. That one. That they mentioned.
Hob.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could. He just seemed kind of annoying.
Maybe he'll give us
He
a different
wasn't-
perspective because they gave us one.
Didn't speak to him.
You are
Yeah.
so
That's a weird
gullible.
judgment to make.
You are-
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
he just like he
follow
was
this
like,
god already? Is this-
I know.
I don't want to be like the rest of the people. I'm unique, whatever. Like it doesn't.
Interesting. Yeah, if we go into this town and a bunch of them are wearing a glove, we'll know what's up.
Yes.
Yes.
I
So-
don't seem to understand what you're equating here.
So we are all wanting to eventually kind of
Sorry.
transition up to your accommodations.
I thought we were in
I never got that memo.
This is on the stairwell.
So
didn't
we'll
wanna
say
have-
you say you're kind of having it quiet to yourself, but there were people that talked about going up. Nobody actually, I don't think, made the movement. As you go up the stairs, you see the kind of room that you've acquired for the night, and the entire upstairs is one large open room. On one side of the room, there are bunks that are lined up, and there's probably 20 of them or so just lined up in a couple of rows. The other side is just flat ground where you could set up a bedroll. We'll say you moved up there and kind of moved over to the corner of it, but you are in the upstairs.
It's better than the rain, I guess.
He was not clear on the fact that there weren't walls. I feel like that is a given when we talk about rooms, but whatever.
The only thing that any semblance of a wall that you have that you notice is one corner of the top of it seems to be sectioned off with a curtain.
It's a soft wall. So.
All right. Good night, I guess. Are we
Is this
retiring
like a
tonight?
pizza warehouse? I don't like this. But I guess.
I mean, I was actually gonna be kind of happy that I didn't have to set up my tent tonight, but like, I might want to. Does someone want to help me set up my tent? That kind of just makes me feel a little more comfortable,
I can help you. I have my own tent, so I'm pretty good at setting up tents.
Oh, all right,
Alright.
yeah.
Help
Do
him
you
set
want
up
me?
tent?
Do you want me to help you set up your tent as well, or?
Do we want an indoor tent, Barry? Or are we?
You start going to work, setting up a tent inside, and
Yeah,
as you're
this is a
doing
good
that,
idea.
this kind of dwarf walks over. You can't be. It's bad luck to be setting up a tent indoors. You can't be setting up a tent in the house.
Well, what's wrong with it?
You'll bring lightning on us.
That
No.
that
Well,
does
we
that?
already
Yes.
started setting it up, so it's too late.
We should respect the traditions of this.
It brings
place.
lightning on us unless you take. Well, there's a way to prevent it, but I don't see no ladder and salt that you can toss through the rungs.
Right. We should respect their traditions, probably. Adri, would it
Why?
help you if we just sort of laid a blanket over your face and then you have the darkness? Would that help you?
Well, the point of the tent wasn't necessarily because it's darker. It's just it's a closed environment where I don't necessarily.
Right, you're
have
alone
to-
under the blanket.
Well, I could like put a blanket over you and then put the rocks around the
No,
blanket to kind
I
of
mean,
weigh them down.
I'll be fine. I don't need the tent. I just kind of thought that would be nice if I did have. I mean, if it's gonna bring lightning, I don't need it.
It'll
I'll
bring
be
lightning
fine,
on our
man.
head. You hit the thunder already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
what's-
No, we'll put this back
what's-
down, roll it back up. That's fine.
What's
yeah.
the correlation there?
Well, you get in a tent inside the house, and it's bad luck.
But why?
Well, because tents are not meant to be in the house.
I mean, he has a good point there.
But-
Tents are not
But
supposed to
why
be in
does that
houses.
lead to lightning?
It's just you're not gonna find an answer from
Yeah,
him. I don't
yeah.
think.
Uh,
Um.
If it'll make you
Man-
feel
Shut it.
better, I'll make sure that no one will approach us while we sleep.
I think I know what it is. I think that what the lightning god doesn't like when there is
God.
two coverings, because like once you get covered once, you're only supposed to be covered once. You're not supposed to be covered twice.
I think
So,
you
it
should read the
makes
book she
sense.
gave you.
But by that
It might be a
logic,
little bit
shouldn't-
advanced now looking back on this.
Fascinating theory.
Is this
I think
how
it needs some
people-
work.
Is this how common people talk? Like, is this generally how life works for common people? Is this
What do you
what,
mean?
like-
He just.
like,
Well,
He
the
just said
coals
that it
are
has
high and
lightning.
mighty. That's commoners. What do you think you're hot stuff?
Yes, I do.
Well, I mean,
Booty in your hot stuff.
we don't need to have a fight here. It's all right. I mean,
Yeah, Omar, we can't. We need this roof. I need this roof.
Alright. Okay. Well, we won't set up a tent. Goodbye.
Goodbye. He kind of goes about 15 feet away and lays down on his bedroll.
Oh.
Oh,
God. Oh. This is why I like trees.
You're welcome to sleep outside if you want.
Hey, maybe there's a rafter you can sleep on.
Oh gosh. I'll try and just make sure that
You look up
we
to
know
the
at least
ceiling,
if
and
somebody's.
as you look up there, apparently a bird has made its way in, and there's like a little small bird perched on top of like one of the rafters.
Right above us.
Not just right above you, but like
Oh,
up in the rafters. Kind of making noise.
what an interesting intersection we are at. Being indoors, but also having none of the comforts.
This is probably the worst inn I've ever been in my life.
No offense
I mean-
to anyone listening.
Or offense.
None taken.
So for our little section, I'm gonna go around it with a little bell and silver wire, and just trace. Yep, ringing the bell quietly.
A bunch of people kind of like staring at you.
It's to keep the lightning out. My home has their traditions too.
Oh, how does that work? I got an extra bell?
I don't have an extra bell. Sorry, you're gonna have to buy
Hey,
one.
I'll be back. He takes off running down the stairs. And as you're finishing up your 10-minute ritual, he comes back with a cowbell. He's like, dong, 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 dong.
If you ring it too many times, it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ding, dong, dong.
Do
Dong,
you have
dong, 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 dong.
that can call lightning on someone? Is that something you can do? Could we-
Dong, 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 dong,
That
dong.
is too advanced for my current
Can-
repertoire.
I'll remember his face. So when
It's
you
a-
get there, we can return.
I don't know that I would be comfortable shooting lightning into some guy's face.
Will you
Now what do I
die?
do now that I've got the bell done?
That's it.
Oh!
You're safe.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna keep
Oh, take me
this.
to the capital. Take me to the capital.
But the night continues much in the same way, but with your alarm spell set up, and you're pretty confident that nobody could approach and steal either your possessions or assault you in your sleep. And while this place seems a bit eccentric in some ways, the people seem harmless enough. And you are able to complete a long rest, and When the morning arrives, the storm that was in the area the previous night has rolled out. The sun shines, rising some fog from the ground. A bit humid, but the day is yours. The room, well, you're still upstairs.
Yes, in the not room. Is the curtain pulled back right now, or is it still dividing?
In the corner of the room, there is still a curtain sectioning it off.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to sleep without knowing. I'm gonna go to the curtain and just peel it back a bit.
You look in, and there's about 4 chamber pots, 2 of them filled, 2 of them empty.
Oh lord! Oh no! Oh god! I didn't know. No, I bolt to the door. Oh, I need to buy a scented candle.
Well, curiosity.
Harmed the cat's nose. Ugh.
Yeah. You said you were graceful like a feline. You're nosy like one too.
And I've got
So
9 lives.
we'll find out eventually. So the place, Adri, you could try to confirm this. I don't know what your memory's like. It's like 2 miles that way, I think.
Oh yeah, no, he said it was 2 miles that way. Yeah.
Up the less traveled path.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I just want to get more of that food, the supplies there. I mean, I'm sure that I could get like at least I could probably get a good deal on at least some.
Let's
some
go
things,
there and
yeah.
fill your pack up with rutabagas. That's the plan.
That way it can all spoil and mold over in our travels to the capital.
Yes.
Well, I mean, most roots actually stay pretty good for a while.
Yeah, I'm not a farmer, so I wouldn't know.
Well, I mean, do you want to know more? I could teach you some more.
Actually, we have a long travel to do. It would be great if we taught him about roots, and we're trying to expand his knowledge base. So while we're traveling up there, it's 2 miles. It's a bit of a walk. Just fill him in, and Theo just walks out the door.
Right, I mean, if we're gonna really get started with this, you have the so on and so forth.
So as you leave, do you want to grab breakfast on your way out?
Yes.
Of course.
We should.
Some,
Like,
go ahead.
Can I buy some like loose cotton from them, maybe? From, like a cot. Yeah.
You can certainly try.
I will certainly try.
There's your eggs. You got your eggs. You got eggs. We got some. I got some fruit with it as well, courtesy of the town. Wait, you. What do you want?
Maybe like loose cotton or like cloth.
Cotton.
From a leftover cot or something.
Make a persuasion check.
I'm so great at things. Oh, that's great. I rolled a 0.
We ain't got any cotton.
Okay, alright. Fine.
We use only polyester. But no, apparently he doesn't have anything to spare or not willing to part with it. So as you leave listening to the ramblings of rutabagas and potatoes and turnips, you kind of make a turn off the road and work your way toward the small farming town. As you get on the road and kind of see the sights, the fields, it's the fall of the year. Not all of them are fully harvested. The corn looks great. It's from the Midwest. The corn is grown up and looks amazing. Pumpkins and squash things sitting out, ready to be harvested. But all of the produce looks really, really nice as you're walking through the countryside. You pass the occasional field. Eventually you see this small kind of grouping of buildings, maybe 25 total, kind of situated in a kind of a small valley below a hill. Likely the town that you were looking for. You see a sign on the way in. Welcome to Brairdle. As you approach, the town itself is mostly homes. People who work out in the farmland, but there are a couple other structures. There's what looks like a local general store. as well as a large church that, based on the statue and the emblems out front, probably dedicated to the Gan Shanti. However, it's run down and the emblems cracked. Not well kept.
Right. Well, I think I might just go. Actually, you know what? I think we should find a specific farmer's place, because generally, if you buy from the general store, they charge a little bit extra so that you can get some money. So if we just go straight to the farmers, I'm sure we can get a much better price there.
Do any of the farms look like obviously not very good compared to the rest?
Make a perception check.
It's not great. 9.
9. On the way into town, they all look remarkable, but the farmland does spread out in a lot of directions, so if there were any that were not quite as good, you may not have seen them on the way in.
Maybe we pay this rundown temple a visit?
Why?
There might be somebody in there. Maybe
Yes.
somebody that worshipped. What is it? Shanty?
Ashanti, I think.
Shanti.
Alright. Well, let's.
Wait, is that not the god's place?
Nope. This is what I was talking about as far as memory.
God's place.
No, the one they worship is Demiastis.
Well, yeah, but I just kind of assumed that he probably just took the
No.
place of the.
Oh.
Nope.
I mean, it
Well,
looks
if he-
pretty run down, so.
Yeah,
probably-
if he was
And
using,
as-
he's probably well kept.
And as you're walking up to it and getting closer, you notice that the building itself is in decent repair. However, all of the iconography and images related to the god Shanti, the rose on the field of grain, the different symbols have been either let to weather and just kind of grow into disrepair. You see a small statue out front that just has moss growing over it, or the actual emblems and painting of it has been defaced and scraped off.
You know, looking at this closer, maybe we should not go here first before we're forced into making a decision.
I mean, we could
I mean, of
probably
course.
find the fastest answers here.
I'll take
Make
a
up
back
your
seat to
mind.
this. Adri, why don't you lead this escapade? Since that seems to be the
Well,
theme.
I don't see how
This
going
means,
to a
adventure.
church would get us any more of
We
our
don't go
rations
to a
like this.
church.
What?
Oh lord, no, you're still on that.
Well,
Why
what?
don't-
We're here to get supplies, right? Or am I misunderstanding?
You're so
Why don't
special.
we compromise and go and try and find that one guy,
Okay, yes.
Hob or
Hob?
whatever? Yes, and support a down on his luck farmer, and also get some answers.
That seems like a good idea. Wisdom of the old.
But
Thank you.
he didn't he say that he didn't have much supplies because
Just go along
god
with it.
didn't.
Just maybe, just for once, just
What if he's hiding the best crop?
Hey, remember yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yeah, remember yesterday when you were like, "Oh, I don't like it when people are like, I need to be different." Well, everybody here kind of, has the same idea. And you're trying to be different.
Well, no, I'm just being logical.
I don't know. Maybe then that other guy was being logical.
If we're just here for supplies, why would we go to the place that has the least amount of supplies? I
Weird.
did hear that he might be keeping a secret supplies there. So actually I wouldn't be that bothered by going if that's the case. If we could get
So-
some secret supplies, that'd be great.
traveling with a
Great.
toddler.
It is decided.
Yes, you did hear that. We should try and find this farm.
Okay, so we'll just look for the least.
So you're wanting to
Healthy farm.
leave the town and go out to the countryside? Or you want to ask around town? Or how do you want to accomplish this?
Are there is it bustling? Are there people?
Not
kind
a
of-
lot. I mean, it's a very small community. There's you know, as far as businesses go, there's the general store. There's a few people that are on the streets in front of their homes, kind of sweeping out their sidewalk, but it's not bustling. It's just a small farming kind of rural town.
I have an idea.
No,
Probably
no,
not a good
no.
one.
No, it is what I think it is.
No. Is there somebody nearby us? Like,
Sure.
I can see. Okay.
You know, there's an older couple kind of just taking a
Oh.
stroll down the street.
Okay. It has to be old people. Nothing against old people. It's just I feel bad lying to old people. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the old couple. Excuse me.
Oh, new in town you must be.
Yeah, we my traveling companions and myself heard about the good word of Demiastus, and
Oh,
we're interested in, pursuing some sort of, following.
make a deception check.
Not terrible. What is my deception
You
at?
lie yet.
What is my deception? +1, so 14?
Oh, you've heard of him, have you?
Yeah, bits and pieces. But we had heard specifically that there was someone here that didn't follow, and we're trying to make sure we get the most informed decision. So we wanted to confront this individual and ask him why he would dare not follow somebody that seems to provide so much.
Or maybe you're trying to rekindle Chanti?
Absolutely not. I thought her name was Shanti until the people at that inn corrected us. I don't know. I don't follow gods. This would be my first.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're really interested in this, Old Hom is the one that is a laughing stock of the town because his stubborn old fool refuses to accept the blessing that we're given. I followed John T for 61 years. And you know what I got out of it? Blisters on my hands. Struggling to get enough crops. Useless.
Yeah, see, I don't have any blisters, and I'd love to keep it that way. So, Demiastus seems like the way to go. But again, I'm a very logical person, so I just want to rule this out. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to laugh at his face like everyone else, but...
Well, his farm is to the east of town.
East
Don't you be
does-
trying nothing.
Oh, I wouldn't even dream of it. You seem lovely, and
Ah, well, you too, Sonny.
thank you, ma'am. I hope you have a blessed day. I don't know what the saying is for your god yet.
Oh, come
Maybe
on,
you have a
hon.
teacher
Come on,
today?
honey. We need to get to the store. My hip ain't gonna keep walking like this too much longer. Come on. All right. Keep my eye
Good luck
on you.
getting to the store. I will run back to shuffle back over to the group. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if that's sarcastic or if you actually.
Why can't we just ask where someone lives? Why does it have to be like an elaborate story each time? Why can't it just be like, oh, we just wanted to visit so and so?
Because naivety doesn't get you what you want.
Well, you don't always have to be overcomplicating everything. That's fine.
You know,
nothing says
actually, I
overcomplicated
think
like God.
I think he has a point though. I I try to stay the most informed about everything so I can get the best answers.
Thank you, Adri. Wow.
Well, we
Okay.
know which direction to
I'm not
go,
going to
so we
touch
should
that.
go.
And as you start kind of making your way outside of the town, not by the main road, but just kind of cutting across the country in the direction that you were pointed, that's where we're going to take a 5-minute break. So we'll be back in just a few minutes to keep things going, but take 5. And we are back. Welcome back to the stream. Just a couple points of business to take care of before we keep going along. All of the beautiful character artwork done for the stream has all been done by Remy Lee on Instagram, so definitely check out her work. She does commissions for D&D artwork and stuff. She's awesome. Also, the music that we're using for the stream is by Adrian Von Ziegler on YouTube. He provides music for use in YouTube videos, Twitch streams, and has some really amazing work that he does. So wanted to shout out those two. Also, we had several new follows and new subscriptions and gift subscriptions during the stream, so I want to give a big thank you to the community for that. Really, really appreciate it. It means a lot, and glad you could be along for the ride. So picking up where we left off, the group had made it into town, kind of took a look around, walked up to the old church that previously was dedicated to Chanti, and noticed that it may not be dedicated to that deity anymore, and have kind of had a conversation and are now setting out to try and find the farm of Hom that apparently isn't doing as well, or not on board for whatever reason. So as the crew sets out, walking through the countryside, now the sun has burned off most of the fog that had risen up, and it's a beautiful day. After walking for 20, 30, 40 minutes or so, you eventually see the farm that must belong to old Hom. It's laid out much like all the other farms, rows of crops, kind of sheds and buildings situated around the farmhouse, kind of out in the center of it. But while the crops in the neighboring farms are green and vibrant, and many of them ready for harvesting, the ground around Hom's farm is dry. The crops, scraggly, what few things grow. It's like night and day, almost like a line that just cuts off between the two. It's a stark contrast.
He must be growing invisible crops.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that there isn't actually any secret supplies here.
Well, we won't know until we ask.
You see standing out in the field, probably 1,000 yards from you, a man who seems to be kind of chopping at the ground with a farm implement, trying to break some of the ground. Kind of seems like wipes some sweat from his head, kind of keeps going at it.
It's just really sad to watch. We should talk to him. Hi. How are you?
Hello?
How's the farm life?
You
Okay.
kind of start walking up. How's it look like it is?
Yeah, it didn't look great. Just wanted to, I don't know.
You
maybe
here to
you
rub
did
it
some
in
stuff.
too. Try to declare the good word of the...
Oh, no,
sorry.
that's a
I'm
false
sorry.
god and a heathen. Don't worry about it.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it was
I
probably the only true god.
I overreact. You didn't say anything bad to me. I shouldn't have snapped off like that. But as you can see, it's not going great.
It seems like you're being specifically targeted. Is it just because you haven't, did you piss like the, what's his face off especially badly? Or is it just that you're not following him? Or you guys have like a history together?
I'm not following some guy off the street who strolls into town claiming to be the divine. I'm just stubborn
It's like a
that way.
moral stance. Okay.
I mean, hasn't he done a lot though?
Sure looks like it. Not for me. I'm not going to follow somebody who starves out the people because they don't want to show up to the temple and worship.
Does he ask for anything in return, like in his worship, like for, money or gold or anything?
I don't know. I've never showed up to one of his services.
Okay.
It
Do
ain't
you
right.
know how he's managed to do this, to cast you out so efficiently? How is he?
I don't know.
What does he look
live?
like?
That too.
He strolled in. He looked mostly like people like us. He was dressed kind of funny. Instead of trousers and a shirt, he kind of had flowing, almost like a dress on. His eyes glowing white, not like a human's eyes. You couldn't hardly look at him. You had to turn your head. Avert your gaze of the divine, that they said. He wasn't walking, he was floating, just above the ground, hovering as he glides into town. I don't know how he did it. Something ain't right.
Oh,
I mean, does that not sound like a god to you?
He's put himself up in the church, been having services a couple times a week. Apparently he's living there.
And
Huh.
before he showed up, all the fields were like yours is now, right?
Well, they weren't this bad. We hadn't had a good crop in a few years. Rains at the wrong time, sun at the wrong time, no rain for long. But we made it. We had enough crops to eat. Wife and I and the kids were almost out of our reserves. We had food stocked up, and we're barely scraping by.
Did he by chance have anything on his robes that you recall? Like a symbol or...
I only saw him from a distance.
I guess we'll have to meet him.
Looks like it.
It's about 8 or 9 months ago he came floating into town.
I know you said you don't go to the things, the worship things, but do you know when he usually has them?
Yeah, there'll be one tomorrow.
Tomorrow. But he lives there, he's by himself there otherwise.
I used to go to services back when we followed reason, but upstairs was quarters that the old preacher used to maintain and live in. They ran him out of town about a month after the new guy showed up. I'm assuming he took over the living space. It's up in the loft.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude, but like, what do you mean by when you followed reason? Like,
John T. Got a farmers. We're farmers. We're simple folk.
I mean, but is this new god not also, but like more effective? I
wanna
mean,
walk up
I can
to
tell
Abby's-
you're also on board with this whole cult.
I wanna
look,
whisper
I'm
to
not
Abby's ear.
saying that it's the only way of doing
My
things. I'm just saying that it's the most
My
logical.
great grandfather was the first of our family who followed, and he was bestowed with divine blessings for his work. My family's followed ever since.
Tree, listen. This guy came in, glowing eyes, floating, glowing white robes. Could be a ghost.
Oh my god.
And then I back away.
So, you know what you need to know then.
Yes, we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I'll hand him 5 copper.
I don't take no charity.
Information has a price.
All right, then I take back.
No,
my
no, no.
copper.
Information does have a price.
No, he takes no charity. I take back my 5 copper.
I give him 3 copper.
I
Guess
don't
that's
I
the
don't want
value.
your coin.
Okay, well.
If the family and I are going to make it, we'll make it on our own hard work.
Okay,
also-
enjoy dehydration and starvation. Bye.
Before we leave for a second, do they like not pay taxes? Cause they're talking about down with the kingdom. Is there
What?
like do they? There's some song I heard about them where they don't follow the rules of the king. Is there?
I don't go into town. They don't like me there. They won't sell to me.
Okay.
They won't even
Yes.
talk to me.
Oh yeah, so I guess money's worth this. Okay, goodbye. I
Come
guess
on,
it's-
Adri, stop looking so worried. We'll figure it out.
Are God? I'm sorry. I'm not God. I mean, are ghosts bad?
They can be.
But like, are they always bad?
Most ghosts, I believe, if folktale is correct, are bad because they wouldn't stick around unless they had something to do. Isn't
Yeah.
that the common belief?
I've even heard stories
what
of ghosts
would-
that take your children.
and leave you gifts so that you forget about your children. Like, I don't know, hats or rain.
We're
They give-
walking away,
I'm
right?
sorry.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
working your way
understand that
back
at all.
toward the
Wait,
city.
what?
I think
Ghosts?
that might
Ghosts
have been a
give
bit
children?
too-
No, I'm sorry. I'm
Take your
sorry.
children.
Why
Sorry.
would they want children?
How do you think they make new ghosts?
Oh, God.
He's just gonna give a quick thumbs up to Bear's Nick.
After
So you think that this god or whatever is taking children?
We're very quick to turn around on the god thing.
Well, I mean, it just makes sense. It has to be a ghost that's tricking people.
It's
One possible answer.
I mean, it
you
literally.
got it,
Like,
buddy.
do you not
One and
remember?
done.
We saw the ghost in those marshes, and then the descriptions like nearly identical, right? It's like the white robes and the pale, like all that.
Nobody's arguing with you. You're correct. No need to further explain. We can just move on with our lives and put an end to this ghost. It's perfect. There's no problem whatsoever. No, we're all on the
By-
same page. Let's continue.
by about noon, 12:30, you arrive back to the town. A couple of people leaving the general store carrying it's like a sack of flour back to where they live. You hear the sound of a rooster crowing in the distance from one of the farms.
Now, Adri, when we go in here,
Huh?
you can't just be like, I know you're a ghost. Like, just, we gotta take it slowly, converse a little. Because if you put the ghost on high alert, it could be the end of all of us.
You can't let him know
Okay.
that you know he's a ghost.
As you're arriving into town, you see two of what look like fairly well-dressed. One looks human, one looks maybe half-elven. They kind of look in your direction and immediately kind of start running toward you. Not like sprinting, but kind of moving pretty quickly. And they immediately, once they start getting close, they immediately drop down to their knee. Travelers and blessed ones, we've never heard this before, but the god wishes to speak to you.
Oh.
Ah, wonderful.
This is great.
This is
This,
exactly what I wanted.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay then.
that's where we were
would
headed.
Be honored.
The word of Demiastros. He says to bring you forth immediately.
Let us make haste. We have business with His Most Divine Holiness.
So
Are
many
these well-dressed people armed?
Not that you can see.
Murder.
Please.
Immediate
They
reaction.
kind of bow.
Yeah.
Please, this way, and they start walking toward the old church.
And there's nothing recognizable about their clothing. It's just fancier clothing.
Make an investigation check.
Oh yes. Those. It's just a straight roll. I rolled a 2. So,
Two? No?
You know.
You just following them.
Why not?
Yeah.
This is-
Yes, yeah.
That's where we were headed. So,
As you kind of go in the front door, there's a small lobby area, like a coat rack. And then beyond that is an auditorium with benches lined out and a platform up in the front. Immediately, you hear a voice that's louder than it should be, echoing through the chamber. You may leave us. The two have walked toward the door. You can't see where the voice is coming from. On the platform, there's kind of a curtain, and apparently it may be behind that. But you hear a booming voice.
Are you about to pull a Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, like,
You hear-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blessed ones of Demiastros. What brings you to our humble community?
I wanted some food. For travel. And there's a lot of it here.
That there is.
Why did you ask to summon us?
And you, wizard. Why are you here?
Oh, interesting. I was just gonna ask if you were using some sort of arcane ability to enhance your vocal cords. But you know, since we're calling each other out,
I know all things.
you
I
know
am a
all
god.
things. Ah,
What's my last name?
I'm not speaking with you, mortal.
Right,
Ah,
right. I
well,
thought so.
Sure.
you're speaking
sure.
with me. What was the last? What form does my familiar take?
A hawk.
Deity. Uh, close but no cigar, friend.
I wish
And
it
I
was
snapped
a
my
hawk.
fingers and a blue-footed booby.
Hey, it's that thing.
It would be so much
Yeah,
faster if it was
sorry.
a hawk.
You hear it just kind of muttering, and it's still amplifying, but not. They sent the dumb one. They sent the dumb one.
Oh, shit.
That is a unusual hawk.
Quite. Why don't you go ahead and come out from behind that curtain?
Certainly. And kind of hovering off the ground, white glowing eyes, flowing robes. Can't even hardly look at the face, the eyes are so bright glowing. The form of who must be Damiastros.
Does this seem like he's using arcane magic?
Make an Arcana check.
How many people use those?
I only rolled a 14, but it's +7, so 21.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Those are some interesting spells you're weaving.
You didn't answer my question, though. What are you doing here, wizard? Or should I say, apprentice wizard?
Haha, very condescending. You know, coming from somebody I don't think I've ever seen at the school, I would say I'm still a step above you.
You'd be surprised.
I've also never had to pretend to be a god.
It's lucrative.
Thank you for admitting that you're pretending. That was easy.
You're not leaving here alive anyway.
Oh.
Wait, could I just want food.
Turns
I don't-
food.
Yeah, like.
Do you
the
believe on the name?
Rain. Sorry?
Do you believe on the name of Damiastros?
Yeah, I mean, you seem to have done a lot here. Like, there's like crops and
Kind
everything.
of
I
reaches
just
his hand back
want
and
to-
with a wave of the arm summons forth produce in his hand. Well, here you go, my child.
Don't take food from ghosts.
Be ghost food. Turning into a ghost. That's how they do it.
Oh yeah, Adri,
Actually,
we don't have to
he's
keep
straight up just
pretending.
said it.
He said he's gonna kill
Yeah,
us.
he knows.
You don't
He
have
knows
to
he's a
pretend.
ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight him, guys,
Oh.
right? Like we're getting ready.
Yeah,
I'm
just straight up murder him like the guy in Ghostwood.
How do you kill a ghost? I don't.
you
You
hit him
it
really
until it
hard.
stops moving.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, sir, I'm not particularly fond of murder, nor do I want to be involved in another one. Maybe we just can de-escalate the situation. You can stop doing this.
Oh,
I'd
that's
like
the
to get more
problem.
reports. Oh,
I am going to
oh,
keep doing this, and
oh.
we may be able to de-escalate, but if any word gets out of what's going on here, my little operation shut down.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the clasp as a civil servant of justice.
I'm aware of what the
I
clasp
can't let this
means.
go. You know that. I mean, you're a wizard. You're not dumb. Although
That's
I
accurate.
met a dumb wizard once or twice before.
You got the
Wait,
one
she's
that
a
can't
wizard
summon a
too?
hawk.
I know. I
It's a
wanted
choice.
another one. But either way, no. Besides that,
That's the first spell they teach you.
could I?
Wait, okay.
All
let
right,
me
pitter
get-
patter. Let's get at her. Are we fighting or
Our-
not? I'm brandishing
our
my warhammer.
wizard-
I'm walking up to
Oh
him.
yeah, I pulled out my axe at this point.
So
Oh,
I,
wizards
threatened
the
my
same
life,
thing
my
as
dude.
ghosts?
so I guess we're doing this. Roll initiative.
I don't.
Pitter patter, let's get at
I
her.
like that.
Everyone we
Pitter
meet,
patter, let's get at her.
And it's the happy-go-lucky one too. I was not expecting.
She's a little sassy. I expected it.
She's something.
Oh, Lord.
Rolled high, but my first turn is a total waste anyway. It's like instantly.
I'm surprised you didn't go pee in a bush before we got into town.
I thought about it, but I was like, who knows what's gonna happen here?
Never not use mage armor.
I know. I should have just done it already. So,
All right, so we'll go ahead and get those initiative numbers. Theodore.
19.
Nice. Audrey.
9.
Brunilda.
16.
How much?
16.
16. Omar. Omar.
19.
Oh, 19. Okay. Barznik.
16.
Marcus.
14.
He rolled a 16 as well. Now let me get these arranged in the right order. Omar or Theodore go first?
I think I'll go first.
No, you can. I mean, either way, my turn, like I said, is
thought
a
it
bust.
makes
So
more sense.
Well, it's up to you. Initiative, you can decide that. So,
you're faster anyway.
Yeah, so I'll
hang on. I'm arranging it. Don't take your turn yet. I was just
Oh,
Alright.
are we doing roll 20 for this?
no, we're not using because for stream
It's just one
purposes it
guy.
doesn't work real well, and it's one guy. So he's currently standing on the stage. You're probably 20 feet from him, kind of down in the audience area. So he's on a platform about 4 feet up above where you're currently at. Let's see here. Between Brunhilde and Barznik, who wants to go first?
Hilda's pretty raring to go. I think Hilda should go first.
All right. Then rounding it out, we have Marcus and then Adri. So Omar. So I guess we're doing this, and then you have first initiative.
I guess we are. I'll run up to him, and with my quarterstaff, since he's flying, I guess I'll just jab it into his gut.
He's hovering
See if
like a
that's-
couple inches off the ground.
Oh, I still jabbed into his.
Yeah, go ahead. Make an attack roll.
9 plus 5, so 14.
So you get ready to stab out, and with a wave of the hand, Arcane Shield pops up and
That's not fair. And I'm going to use a key point to flurry of blows.
all right.
That'll probably hit 21.
21 does.
Okay. 3 plus 3 is 6 damage.
6 damage. All right.
And the second one, I rolled a 2. But on that attack for my flurry of blows, I would like him to make a
Stunning strike. Con save.
no a dex saving throw.
Dex save.
Oh no, strength saving throw.
Make up your mind.
It's the strength. Sorry.
Natural 20. Good thing got it out of the
Okay.
way now.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not knocked prone.
That would be funny though, floating and.
Yeah.
But
gonna
but no, it doesn't.
Turn my way to behind him if I can, and then.
Yeah, you kind of like go around. With that, Theodore is up.
I'll support you guys from back here. Don't worry, I totally got you. And he's gonna move like 10 feet, like it's back. I'm assuming the door's just like right behind us, like maybe a few feet. I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably 30 feet behind
Okay,
you.
so I'm gonna move back about 10 feet or so. so I'm not with everybody.
Mhm.
And I'm going to take out the leather and run it shoulder to shoulder. Runes appear, and then the mage armor shimmers over me. And then I will also say, just as somebody who practices what he practices, not the pretending to be a god thing, but don't group up, or he will probably kill all of you. And yeah, that's my turn,
With that, the wizard is up.
and it's too late.
And after Omar kind of, he landed a blow. He raises a hand and snaps a finger, and from the bookcase that's kind of near the back of the room, one of the books starts floating in the air and is hurled in the direction, kind of in a line between Theodore and Adri. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
You would use my own spell against me?
Yeah. Looking at Igneo.
So first of all, Theodore, dex save.
Okay. Dex 16 plus 1 is 17.
What is his DC?
Probably high.
17 though?
I mean, it could be.
So yeah, as you're standing there, you try to dodge out of the way, but it's a little too quick as it kind of hits against you, and you take 16 bludgeoning damage from this book.
Okay. As it hits me, the runes that appeared before flare up again, and they take the brunt of it. They crack, and it comes through. It does still hit me, but I just give him a smirk.
Nice. And yeah, with that is going to go ahead and end his turn. You really want to do this, Brunhilde.
Yep. I'm gonna run up to him with my tiny little legs and I'm brandishing my warhammer, got my shield up, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to hit him with my warhammer,
Make
which
an-
is a
Make an attack roll.
15.
15 does not hit, as it just kind of glances off this arcane field that he has up.
Well, that's great. That's my turn.
All right, Barznik.
All right. I'm so angry at the misplacement of trust that these people have put in him. I'm also going to run up. I'm going to bonus action rage, and I'm going to take a swing at him with my warhammer. I'm going to go reckless.
All right, roll with advantage.
That's 15, 16.
Shield.
All right. That's my turn.
Oh, wizards.
Marcus.
Alright, so I'm gonna tighten my grip on my axe, and I'm gonna run up and attack him. And as I'm running, I'm gonna calm my breath, focus myself, and I'm gonna use my fighting spirit.
All right.
Yeah. So that is neat. I rolled the same thing twice. So that is a total of 22.
22 hits.
Yeah. That is next damage. 14 damage.
14, very nice.
And I've got 10 HP.
All right, does that end your turn?
Yes.
All right, next up is Adri.
Adri will follow the lead of Marcus and run up, pull out his short sword and dagger, and will lash out with his short sword first.
All right.
Jesus. 12.
12 does not hit.
And then other offhand with dagger. Oh god, 8.
So you're stabbing at him, and like it looks like he isn't that too dexterous or anything. But every time you hit, it's just hitting against this invisible force field.
That's it. That's his turn.
All right, that brings us back around to the top of the initiative. So Omar, you are up.
Rinse and repeat. I will take my staff and try to aim right for his throat.
Go for it.
Cut off his windfire. Fire. Okay, that is 19.
19 misses. It hits that arcane force.
Alright, and as a bonus action, I'll just spend another key point and do flurry of blows.
All right.
21.
21 just hits.
All right. That is that's a 6 damage,
6 damage, got it.
and I rolled a natural 1.
Natural
on
1, so the
my-
other one doesn't manage to make
So on
contact.
the 6 damage, I'll have him make a dex save.
He fails it.
Okay, so he's not prone.
So you kind of trip him, and this kind of floating that he's doing, you kind of sweep his leg with it, and it kind of knocks it out from under as he falls backwards, no longer floating. Does that end your turn?
I'm gonna like flip him off a bit, and then
Theodore.
Please don't melt. Well, no, this one I guess it's okay to melt. Okay. So he takes out the adder stomach from his pouch, slings it across his arm, says the arcane words as he runs his middle finger across his forearm on the adder stomach, and lets go of an acid arrow.
All right.
So that's not too bad. 11 and 7 is 18.
18 does not hit.
So when it hits his arcane field, it still splashes, and he takes
Yep.
half damage. Yeah. This is why I went with this spell.
It's a good spell. It's a fun one.
Yeah. 3 and 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so he takes 4.
4 damage. Got it. Now it is the wizard's turn, if that ends your turn.
Yep.
And this is the first time you see something that, not the first time you've seen it, but the first time from this wizard that you see a technique that's a little bit more advanced as he starts weaving his spells. You watch as he kind of snaps a finger and is now invisible. And then you kind of hear some footsteps and movement. And then from the distance, fireball going, or not a fireball, I'm sorry, a firebolt.
Goodbye, everyone.
Seems to come from nowhere. As he is still invisible, but a firebolt appears, streaks through the air in the direction of Brunhilde's kind of on that side. So that's going to be... It's going to be a 15 to hit.
Nope.
Misses. Just misses as it kind of hits against the ground. The wooden floorboards kind of start sparking and smoldering just a bit.
Is he visible?
He is
now,
not
or-
visible. And that ends his turn. Brunhilde.
Advanced
Great.
magic.
I love it. I'm going to, and I kind of generally heard him the way that he went.
Yeah, generally, yeah, you have kind of, and you saw where the firebolt originated from.
Okay, I will. No, Yeah, I'm gonna go in that direction towards
Okay, so you kind of start going over that way and gonna try to make an
And-
attack.
him. No, as I do that, I'm gonna just yell, approach me, and I'm gonna try to cast command. I will hold my shield. Oh, Mr. Roth, please let this happen, and I'm gonna hope that it happens. DC 13 Wisdom save.
Okay. You say approach, and you hear
Approach.
footsteps get closer to you. He's still invisible. Sounds like he's standing like right there.
Yeah, that's it. That's my turn. That's what I can do.
Barznik.
I guess I will go over to where Hilda is and take a swing for the area immediately in front of her.
Make a roll at disadvantage.
I'll go reckless.
Straight roll.
That's a natural 4.
Doesn't hit,
But I
no.
will bonus action also swing back and try and catch him with my arm spikes.
Also straight roll.
That's a 12.
12 doesn't manage to hit. You're kind of swinging through the air. You kind of know a general idea where he's at, but can't quite make contact. Marcus.
I'm going to do the same as Brisnick, run up and attack, and again I will hone my focus and use another fighting spirit.
All right, sounds good.
Straight roll.
Straight roll. Yep.
Okay, that's that is a 16 to hit.
16 just misses. I'm sorry. 16. Nope, shield.
So Bung. Okay, that's my turn.
Yeah, you kind of see the air kind of shimmer where your sword hits it. You hit the right spot, but it doesn't penetrate through. Adri.
Adri will Adri's looking very worried at the moment and seemingly is mumbling incomprehensible things under his breath, and I would like the wizard to make a wisdom save.
Fails.
Okay, fails. Cool.
Somebody wasn't expecting to fail.
No, I was not. I was not expecting that. Okay, that is going to be that's oh jeez.
What were you casting?
Dissonant Whispers.
Ah.
Yeah. 12,
So,
15.
Go ahead. Yeah, roll damage for it.
That's 16 damage.
16, and he'll go ahead and see if his concentration stays up. It does, so he stays invisible, but you all still hear the footsteps like running away immediately toward the door.
Yep, that's my turn.
All right. With that brings us back around to Omar.
Oh, I guess if he's running loud enough, could I try to hit him?
You can, yeah, you kind of run over there. It's a disadvantage to make the attack.
I will do so. Bad. Natural 20. Okay, so take the lower roll. That's a 23.
23 hits.
Finally hit with the staff. Okay. That's 6 plus 3 is 9 damage.
9. With that, he does become visible again.
Oh, great. That's great.
It kind
I'm
of
going to
shimmers.
throw you-
He looks a
the
little
last
bit
key-
bruised up kind of from all this.
Use my last key point to throw your blows again. Natural 20. Alright, that's damage. His dice is the thing. But I rolled a 1, so that's 5 damage on that one.
Got it.
Second one is only a 17.
17 does not hit.
Okay, on the 20, I want him to make a strength saving throw.
17.
My DC is 14.
Okay.
He succeeds.
Got an 18 minus 1. All right. Theodore.
Okay. Seeing that he's visible now and right next to Omar, I'm just gonna saunter over there. Like, this is taking a really long time, and I'm gonna just reach in my pouch and I'm gonna pull out a oh no, I don't actually need that for this. I was gonna cast a different spell and I changed my mind. So I don't reach into my pouch. I just rub my hands together and they start glowing a little bit as I'm muttering to myself. And I'm like, I don't know if that high magic yet. I'm not there, but I do know the basics. And this may not be a hawk, but whatever. And I'm just gonna put my hands out and I'm gonna cast second level burning hands directly at him.
All right.
So it's a dex save, 15.
He rolled exactly a 15.
Okay.
So yeah,
9 and 3 is 12 and 2 is 14. So he takes 7.
7. Got it.
And I'm sure I burned all the pews and stuff in there, but whatever.
I mean, things have started kind of catching fire a bit, also from his own magic he had cast earlier. But it brings us back around to the wizard. Now, the two of you are kind of confronting him as he was running toward the door. I've still got a few tricks. As he kind of pulls out a bit of crystal from his pocket, slaps over his hand with it, and kind of tosses it in the direction you two are standing. It starts sparking as lightning goes in a line straight across the building. I need Omar, Theodore, Marcus, and Brunhilde, and Adri to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
You would use my own spell against me. That's not.
Are all those spells your spells?
I'm
He owns
assuming.
them all. Like, he has the public domain and everything.
Yeah.
Look, I got in early, okay? You know my backstory.
The save on this is a 18.
Natural
I failed.
20. I passed.
On a failed save, you take full damage. On a success, you take half. You take 27 lightning damage in an arc in front of him.
Ow.
I'm down.
Yeah.
As Brunhilde collapses to the ground.
Great.
Somebody.
Wait, do we round up
Top
or
this
round
guy.
down?
Round down.
Back.
Okay.
I'm unconscious.
Unconscious, so 2 fall down, and as the lightning kind of goes across the floor is now catching on fire. The whole kind of interior of this building is starting to catch. More trouble than you're worth. He turns and starts walking out the door, kind of holding his side as he's hurt. He does walk out of range of Omar if you want to make an attack of opportunity.
Definitely, yeah. He just killed my magic twin. That's a 17 plus 5 for 23.
That hits.
Okay. I rolled an 8, so 11.
And that's enough as he doesn't make it out the door as he collapses
I want
down
to
to the
describe
ground.
this, please.
Go for it.
As he runs away, I want to take my staff and sweep it under his feet, and then turn it around and break it onto his neck.
As he collapses onto the ground, his arcane shield, as he hit against it, just kind of buckled under the weight of your quarterstaff as it impacts, and he falls. However, Theodore,
Combat.
you are unconscious on the ground. You gotta hit the full brunt of this lightning bolt. I'd like you to make a death saving throw.
Are we not doing turn order?
We are. Omar's just used his turn. You're next up.
Well, he's
Reaction.
not
Oh, that
dead.
was an opportunity attack.
Oh, that was an opportunity attack. That's right. So yeah, with that, the wizard's turn is over. Brunhilde, you're up.
Oh. That's even throw.
Sorry, I wanted you to go first.
20.
Oh,
20. So immediately, having been knocked out and knocked to the floor, being zapped, you kind of regain consciousness with 1 hit point and kind of awaken.
Oh, do I still get an action?
You do, yeah. You're lying on the ground prone. You're kind of looking around, a little bit dazed, but you do get your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna crawl over to the wizard. Umastrath, don't let this tall one die, I guess. And I'm gonna pump.
I guess.
How much can I pump in? 10? 10 hit points into him? That's all I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Land
ends
hands.
combat as Theodore. You get some healing from
Oh my god.
Hilda.
Wait, I don't believe in that. Well, I just look sideways to Hilda. I guess a little bit now.
The
This place is
the building, the flames have kind of started to.
Yeah.
It's still to a point where if you put the effort forth, you might be able to stamp out the flames. Otherwise, it's going to spread.
I would like
I
to
would like to
try to put them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We'll do this. We'll do this as an old school like skills challenge. So what does Theodore do in order to help put the flames out?
I am going to try snuffing them out
Okay.
little by little with prestidigitation.
All right, make an Arcana check.
I only rolled a 7, but 7, 14.
That's a success. So how is Adri helping put the flames out?
He's just. He grabs his bag and is just trying to like smack away the fire.
All right.
Snuffing them like.
We'll call that athletics, as you're going around, running around, and doing this.
Natural 1.
Fanning the flames. Brunhilde, how are you helping put the flames out? That's 1 fail, 1 success.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing that I guess Adri's doing, trying not to fan the flames, but put them out.
Okay, make an
I'm assuming
athletics
that's
check.
athletics?
Yep.
That's a 3 + 5, so an 8.
Both of you fanning the flames.
Making it work.
Omar.
Okay, I guess I'll take the guy's cloak and start patting down flames that I see, and I'll try to go to like higher locations that other people can't.
We'll call it acrobatics, as you're kind of climbing around, trying to snuff out the flames in different places.
Okay, acro, that's a 19.
19. So you're pretty successful in stopping their spread. Barznik, what are you doing to try to help?
I would like to talk to the fire and ask it to stop. Just kidding. I'm gonna take out my bedroll and start patting down the ground.
Okay. Just roll a straight D20 on this one.
God. 9.
9. And Marcus, what are you doing to try and help?
I'll do the same thing Adjing and Hilda were doing,
All right, roll an athletics check.
but I'll do it right. Watch.
Every time somebody
That is-
repeats it on a skills challenge, the DC goes up, but they've rolled terribly.
13.
Well, 13. We'll call it a 50-50. As you run around, stamping out flames and fanning flames, this layer of the church is shot. You eventually get the flames to go out, but the floor is ruined, the benches are ruined, platform's in bad shape.
If the flames are under control, I would like to go look at my clearly more powerful wizard, and I want to see. Well, I want to search him for knickknacks because he's got to have some stuff that I would want, as far as like components or
On
even anything.
him is just a components pouch. With the exception, he does have in the components pouch is a pearl that's worth probably about 100 gold.
Pearl components pouch. Can I take his components pouch?
You
don't
can,
have to
yeah.
Tell me what's in it now.
Yeah.
Components pouch. I will take
That's
that.
the only thing of note in it, aside from regular components.
Yeah. And then I want to look. Does he have any sort of identifiers outside of that?
Now, his robes and eyes are no longer glowing, but they are just plain, kind of simple attire. It looks like anything he has, he doesn't keep on him. You also don't notice a spell book on him anywhere.
Oh, he lives here. Teeb, he's got to have a book here somewhere. We need to find it.
I
Hopefully it
don't
wasn't
think.
in one of these bookshelves.
I don't think that he was a ghost.
Well, he is now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's not a good thing.
We've just killed a god to these people. I'm worried
was
that
the
someone
Don't
might
worry,
have noticed
we'll
that.
They don't
be
even
able-
know
Why?
that.
They thought
They
simple.
don't-
Well, not simple. He was pretty complicated, but they thought magic equaled godhood. I'm pretty sure we could play it off. I just need his book.
Killed him. We're not god killers.
Yeah.
We're
We're
not
not god
strong enough
killers.
to do that. This
Gods
is
don't
false
bleed when you
god.
hit them with an axe.
Yes,
All
we
right,
found him
God,
like
Asha-
this, but we
Shanti
should
is
still
going
make
to
quick
be
work
mad.
of searching
Yeah.
this place.
Yeah,
since half of this
uh,
church is burned to the ground.
And it's
Good
still
point.
smoldering a little bit. You don't
I'm
know
gonna,
if it's all the way out. But
It's
Take
spicy
off
in
to
here.
look for the guy said there was like a loft or something above it.
yeah,
Um,
and you're able to find kind of in a closet is a kind of steep, almost halfway between ladder and staircase that goes up to a loft area.
I will be looking specifically for a book.
Well, there's a desk that seems to be a work area aside from general living quarters that are well apportioned. The desk has some different drawers in it. If you'd like to look through that, you can make an investigation check.
Good at those.
Okay.
15 plus 7 is 22.
22, that's pretty good. So you kind of open the first one. How many hit points do you have?
Oh, I'm so gonna die. I have 10.
10. You all watch as Theodore goes over, opens up the drawer, and immediately falls asleep.
Just on the ground.
Well,
sleeping.
Can I
gonna
walk up and like flick him on the head?
Sure.
Ow!
Don't fall asleep on the job.
He obviously set a sleeping spell to go off. So if you see me go to sleep again. Well, actually, just to be certain, and I'm going to see if I can see any arcane runes on any other things on the desk, just so I don't get like a fireball in the face.
No, none that are visible.
Okay. Well, I'll go
But
back
as
to the
you
drawer that made
but
me
as you open up that drawer and you start doing your investigation of them, the only thing of note in that drawer are 2 spell scrolls. There is a spell scroll of Glyph of Warding, and there is a spell scroll of Create and Destroy Water.
Yep, makes sense.
There
Can I
are 3
just-
other drawers in the desk.
Do you want me to open them for you?
If you could, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna measure the distance in my head and make sure I'm like far back. Like,
I'll grab the next drawer down and I'll pull it open.
How many hit points do you have?
13.
Marcus opens it and immediately falls asleep.
I'll go flick him on the head.
Okay, you get that one. So, yeah, doors open. You
Okay,
wanna
and Theodore
look
starts
inside?
kind of rummaging through, I assume.
Yeah.
This one contains a spellbook.
Yay.
However, it's bound with a kind of metal clasp, and when you try to remove the leather and like open it up, it won't budge.
Okay. I would recognize this given our early encounter
Probably, yeah.
with our friend. It's gonna take me quite a while before I could get into this. Okay. I'll just tuck it away.
All right.
Do you want me to try to cut it?
No,
Should
please,
I,
no.
should I open the next drawer? Was there another one? or-
Yes, thank you. Actually, you're being, and I saw you hit the guy. You're pretty useful.
I do my job. And I'll pull open the drawer. And I assume get knocked back to...
All right, this time I don't flick him in the head just for the sake of being even. I go over and I just shake him awake.
Yeah, I hate this thing.
Yeah.
You start rummaging around through this one. You find two things. One of them, a sack of coin, and within it are 60, the equivalent of 60 gold pieces in various silver and copper. And this one, with that 22 roll that you had for investigation, this one has a false bottom in it. And as you kind of open it up, all that's in it is kind of dust covered and is what looks like, after you kind of dust it off, a sterling silver colored clasp in the shape of a sphinx.
Huh.
What's that about?
Son of a
'Cause I
bugbear.
opened the drawer.
He's not a nice. I wouldn't have guessed. Well, I guess varying personalities. And I'm just gonna flash my little pendant to or my clasp rather to Marcus.
So I get it.
I've got some talent, some things to tell. Man, it's gonna be so hard to. Oh, and then I gotta go through Omar.
And then the last drawer going through the same process to open. This one doesn't knock you out when you open it. This one appears to be empty.
I will just assume it's like 60 gold flat. I will give everybody like 10 gold of it. Like, hey, he had a pouch like on her going back downstairs. Like, I found a spell book. Give everybody 10 gold, and then I will give 5 of my 10 gold to Marcus for opening the drawers for me.
Thanks.
While they were upstairs doing that whole situation,
I assumed you were upstairs with them because everybody kind of moved up there.
Well, I just wanted to do a once-over vault because he had bookshelves. If there was anything of note there.
I'll say that toward the end of the investigative process, you start working your way down, and as you have peek around the corner, people have started to assemble in the front of the church.
All right.
They haven't spotted you yet, but you kind of look around the corner, and they're kind of, one of them's kind of carrying the body, and they're like, people are pacing through, and
Right, everyone, back up a bit. Back up the stairs, up the stairs. Was there a window?
there is a small window in the front and in the back. Probably it'd be a tight squeeze for some of you, but there is a window.
We should have done it last time. It's here. They're so convenient. Can we just take a little tumble?
Fine. Before we do that, I'm gonna cast Clear Wounds on myself. Because I'm still not great. Oh, okay.
I feel like we're the only people that came into this town. It's gonna be fairly obvious that it was us.
It wouldn't be the first time we did it.
Could we tell them that,
we didn't give
that
anyone the
Chun-Li struck him down for his hubris or something?
Yeah, I
I
think.
just feel like we're leaving a concerning power
I
vacuum
think we
here.
really could just tell them.
Who's the best at lying?
I just feel like we could tell them.
Why? Yeah. Why would we lie?
We don't need to lie. He was lying.
10,
Right.
9.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go
Where are you
Lead
going?
the way.
downstairs.
We're
Downstairs.
gonna address the
From
people.
Yeah.
As you kind of round the corner, What is the meaning of this? And they're like two of them barreling towards you.
This was
I
a false
immediately
law.
just prestidigitation, make the symbol. I just swiped my finger over my forehead, right to left, and I prestidigitation to make the symbol of Shanti just glow on my forehead, and then I make it go away, and I say he was a false god.
I'd like you to make a deception check using your spellcasting modifier, so intelligence.
Come on.
Oh, I had an at 20.
So a total of
25.
25.
Yeah.
They kind of stop and they're just kind of looking at you.
Shanti decided to be gracious because of a gentleman here named Ham, who held faith. She could have rained
Tom.
her wrath upon your whole village, but chose instead to just remove the false god.
Yes, it was a joint effort with Umastroth as well. Both together.
Chanti and Humastroth. Will you bring the reins?
I'm
That's
sure
something you will have
Shanti
to
will.
earn.
That's her domain.
You will
Yes.
have to earn her trust and favor over time. It will not be immediate.
We'll begin. We'll begin at once.
Good. And while you're
Best
doing
of
that,
luck.
she's gonna start handing out some rocks just as some, soul searching. You guys can start a journal thinking about when rain comes and discover some agricultural practices that might be beneficial to you guys. Knowledge.
So they're taking these and they're looking around. One of them's already started cleaning off one of the symbols of Chanti in the temple and kind of restoring it. Where would you all like to go?
Leave.
Yes. Away.
Head back out the way you came, down the dusty road, eventually seeing the roadhouse in the distance. It's getting late
Fun
for
and
the
all.
day. It's been a long day.
Are you guys sure that we did the right thing?
Oh,
Yes.
definitely, 100%.
Good about it.
They
No,
strayed, and we just got them back on the
False.
right track.
A false god shouldn't be given power. It's not right.
I mean, really, what did he do wrong, though?
He was taking advantage
Punishing
of them.
those that didn't
He
want
was
to follow
collecting
them.
money and pretending that he was a god. He was taking their
He
money.
was collecting money and giving them crops.
Ham's
he
was-
family would have
Adri,
died.
Adri, remember, he said since we found out that you weren't leaving alive.
He probably
was
killed
going
other
to kill
people
us.
too that maybe found out.
He was probably gonna kill Han.
He was running a scam.
And he literally threatened us before we did anything. I asked him to de-escalate the situation.
You're
I mean,
able
be
to-
fair, I feel like
We're running-
one of us made him. Yeah.
Yeah, we're running a little bit short on time, but for the sake of brevity, you're able to stop again at the roadhouse and gain your accommodations and food for the evening, and setting back out to contemplate what transpired and the party's actions, whether or not you agree or not. But you eventually, after 2 more days of travel, see the gates of the capital, and before arriving there, that's where we will call the session for this week. Oh, it was exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Well, clutching at 20s.
There were some clutch rolls. But once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. We did solve some of the technical difficulties that we had with the archive channel on YouTube. So the past broadcasts are now up on the channel. So if you're just joining and want to catch up on the story and where it's been, you can catch those on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you so much to all the viewers. Lots of new viewers this week, new subscriptions, new follows. That really helps the channel out a lot as we're working on growing that. So thank you so much for that. And we will all see you again the same time.